Alright, this is probably one of the worst things I could do before going to sleep. But that's okay. We're gonna get it done because we're almost at 100 videos on YouTube. So cool. But today, roller coaster. I'm just gonna do a bit of a brain dump. There's a lot going on. Very grateful though. Feeling very strong, physically, mentally, and emotionally, which is really cool. What's been happening for me? Titan Tuesday, a workout that I do at my gym, has changed and has become one of the hardest workouts of my week now. That happened last week. That was my video as to I Will Not Be Broken. And this week it was even more time in the workout, 41 minutes of work, I believe. So that was difficult, but I really enjoyed it. And I feel like I had a bit of an epiphany. The coach said he's been brought in to help us bring some conditioning to the community and to the gym. And it got me thinking about breaking down the word conditioning. And conditioning is, to me, practicing putting myself in conditions that are difficult to see what decision I make. And essentially the decision at the workout is keep going or quit, keep going or rest, keep going or rest. And I was thinking about the word work, and work is meant to be hard. And so, of course, my expectation going in is for it to be hard because I'm conditioning myself to be put in hard situations physically. So I enjoy that. I had gratitude for that. I feel like I did quite well at the workout, really happy with that. And my training the past few months has been incredible, feeling very strong, feeling a lot of love for my physical capability, my physical body, and my resilience, which is really cool. I then did my men's circle. Tuesday night is a ritual for me to attend a men's circle at Brotherhood. And every week we wrestle. And it's a modified version of jiu-jitsu. And we speak on the intention we're bringing. And often I bring play, joy, gratitude, a lot of the time for my physical body. Today, I got to tap into an emotion that I don't get to use often, and that was rage, hatred, disgust for a man in my life. And it was really cool to tap into that, and I'm so grateful for it because, and I shared this at the circle, the feelings I've had is confrontation, conflict, physicality, and I know I have the foresight to know that a fight would not go well for anyone. There's no winner in a fight on the street or a fight with someone in public. I walk away hurt, they walk away hurt. There's legal potential. It's not a good situation. And so I'm so grateful to have a healthy expression of a fight and a simulation of sorts, because I said that to this man. I said, I feel this way. I'm grateful to have this opportunity. Can you meet me with that? And the man said yes. And the result was 2.5 minutes of us just going at it. And I was so tired from this workout, and I was so just exhausted, but it felt so good to give it my all and to have my energy matched, and I felt so good. And I got a little bloody nose, and that's where the reminder came in that if I were to fight this man that I'm holding resentment towards, I'd get blood on my hands, he'd get blood on his, neither of us would win. And so that's my takeaway from that. But what I took away was, from the circle, was gratitude for having healthy men in my life, for having community, for having parents that raised me so well, and just the opportunity to explore and be curious in a safe way in a community. And the community is so powerful. And so my takeaway from the circle was I am going to move on. I'm not going to confront this person because there's another person I care about, and what I believe they want is to move on. And so it was really cool to be asked, someone asked me a reflection, what would caring for this person that I care for look like? And the answer is to move on. And so that's what I'm doing. Which feels really good. Felt really good to come to that realization. The other takeaway from the men's circle, which I loved, was anxiety is just the future. Anxiety is just fear of the future not aligning with our expectations. I love that so much because anxiety, I'm in the mental health space, so I'm careful in saying this, but anxiety is controlled and created by us. And so we get to choose I get to choose where I put my energy. And so when I have anxiety, I love the quote that anxiety is putting myself through something twice. But when I have anxiety, I get to decide. And I think presence helps overcome anxiety. Presence is just being present and facing what's right in front of you because that's real. Whereas anxiety for me is not all the time. So I loved that quote. Anxiety is just fear of the future not aligning with my expectations. Now, a theme for me has been trying to be so present that I don't have any expectations for the future. So that was a takeaway. The third takeaway, and this kind of comes back to the man that I believe is a bad man, which is difficult because my mum taught me not to hate in my life. My business's slogan is "We're all humans." I'm all about compassion. And so, yeah, to come across a bad man is quite difficult. But my takeaway is all I can control is myself and becoming the best version of myself I can be, the best man I can be to provide in my relationship, to provide for my friendships, to provide for myself, to show up as a brother, and that's presence as well. And that really excites me and alleviates a lot of stress that all I can do is focus on myself. So I loved that. Gratitude looks like continuing to work towards becoming the best version of me. Another cool thing in Sunset Crew, we've had 3 sales in 3 days, which is really cool. On Friday, I had some, I was going to say burnout, but I don't think it was burnout because I'm still on the journey and I'm not burnt out, but I had a need to rest. And I listened to my body and I listened to my mind and I rested and I spent an amazing couple days with my family. So it feels really cool to come back and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to get 3 sales. And really cool, 3 people left on Sunday. 2 have just left the Gold Coast, so that's fine. 1 wasn't the right fit. 3 people left. 1 person joined, or maybe 2 people joined, and we were making more than before because the 3 people that left were on the founding members rate and the new people were on the $5 per week rate. So that was really cool. Another thing I had a bit of anxiety about so I had anxiety that my crew cook-off that I'm hosting with Sunset Crew, I'm spending $400 on it, putting a lot of time in it. My goal is for it to be a all-in event for Sunset Crew. I launched it on Thursday, and I feared that it wouldn't get enough engagement. Essentially what I did is I split the community into 8 teams, and randomly, and they each had $50 to cook something. And so Monday, my intention was to ignite energy in the competition. So that looked like me tagging everyone, announcing the teams, making an announcement, putting a poll in each group and saying, hey, do us a favor, let us know if you can come or not come. That'll help me and your team. And then essentially there were 4 teams that were a bit quiet or had 1 or 2 people that were keen but a bit quiet. And then there were 4 teams that were going really well. And so I've consolidated those teams on Monday. And things are going so well. There's 4 teams that are super keen. I've increased the budget to $75 per team. I'm spending the other $100 on firewood, snacks, and cutlery. Super excited for this event. And the engagement, it's looking like we'll have like 30 to 50% of members at the event. So really, really cool. Yeah, there was a lack of compassion for myself when I first launched the event because I wanted it to be perfect. And I just had to remind myself every event starts somewhere. So that's really cool. Really feeling good about that. Yeah, I had a great evening yesterday. I switched off my phone, showered, shaved, had dinner, went to sleep at like 8:30, woke up at 5 a.m. I had a really great day today. So I'm going to keep going with that. Really loving my life so much. For my future self watching this, I think you'll really appreciate the journey that it's been documenting these thoughts. I'm loving defining words at the moment. So cool. Super grateful as well. There's a girl named Margarita that is helping Sunset Crew with social media content. I'm kind of realizing she's so helpful. I'd love to hire her, but I'm still underutilizing her because for years I've wanted someone to help me with social media, and now she's here and I have to show up more than her, and I have to create content, and I want to experiment, and I really want to create paid or run paid ads. It's something I realized I've got to create the organic content that I would run as an ad. So I'm going to work on that more, but that's exciting too. Yeah, had a good day with Sophia. Really beautiful, simple, wasn't expected. She called me at 11, was having a not great day, and I was there at like 11:45, which I loved. She used to be a vegetarian, and I said, do you like steak? She said yes. So we had some steak, we went for a walk, and we hung out. That was really nice. Probably made my day, to be honest. And yeah, going to bed, feeling great about these daily videos, loving the life I'm creating, and grateful for any human that has gotten this far.